At least I caught it now. Here we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is the Marvel Minute. I am Brandon, as always, joined by my man, Trevitt. Trevitt, what's up?
Nothing much. Just had a nice sandwich on French bread.
Nice breakfast sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about Avengers 675 for you guys. First in a 16-part weekly, I don't know, just weekly series basically now, because all the titles will be named Avengers from here on out. So this beat out two other books, Old Man Hawkeye, and what was the other one I put up there? Shit.
Venom, right? Was it Venom?
No, I
Phoenix.
don't. Phoenix, right? Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, that one's been losing percentages of the vote every week since issue 1. Nobody wants to hear about it till the end now. But Avengers ended up edging out Old Man Hawkeye. And we got a group effort writing this joint. Mark Waid, Al Ewing, and Jim Zub. So it's hard to tell who's got main duties on this one, but they're all credited. And then art team, it's only 2 people, Pepe Larez and David Curel.
Curel.
And I was actually surprised it wasn't Clayton Cowles. It's Corey Pettit, I think, as far as lettering goes. So I thought this had Clayton Cowles written all over it for me. But
it's like a big thing, right? And he normally does all the big things.
It's like the kickoff to a big crossover here. But yeah, this was $4.99 here, a little extra page count, and we'll get into it. So here we go, fellow Marvel zombies. We're all diving headlong into a 16-issue weekly Avengers crossover, where God knows what's going to happen. But one thing I can bet you can count on is shit'll hit the fan. So it goes without saying, the Avengers lineup of late, mostly since Secret Wars ended, has been a bit diluted and directionless. So does this make an effort to get things back on track? Let's check it out. All the other like random Avengers titles that, US Avengers, Occupy Avengers, Uncanny even, right? Are all being collapsed into this book. And this is where you're going to get all your teams from here on out. And then we're going to kick things off, which I don't hate. But they're going to have to narrow the roster down by the end of this thing because it's so many people for one book.
Like 29 people.
yeah. It's actually cool in the very end, like the last page before the letters, I think even. They give you the breakdown of all the teams and who's on what. If you're interested in that helps you at least keep track of who's why and where you could have followed them beforehand. But this issue begins in Texas with basically a card game gone wrong occurring in what looks to be a chop shop involving a long forgotten hero. At least I haven't seen this guy in forever, right? Have you?
No, not in a long time. He played pretty big in Civil War, but I think I looked up the last thing he was in, and it was Christopher Yost's Scarlet Spider. He was in 2 issues, but other than that, he hasn't been around since like 2008. It's a 10 years.
And that's not even is that Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider, or is that Kane Scarlet Spider title?
Kane. It was the Kane title where he was in Texas.
Yeah, it's been a while, I say. This is Living Lightning he goes by, and we'll do some highlighting of him in the midpoint facts if you're confused who this is, because I was a little bit. I had to look it up myself.
Yeah, me too.
But he's mixing it up once this card game goes off the rails with a few Texas criminals, basically, and he takes them out quickly with like this lightning blast, obviously, and kind of waits for the cops to arrive, and one who he looks like he's a little friendly with, and he's going to possibly Netflix and chill a little later on. That's kind of the vibe I got there. I don't know if you got that vibe.
Oh yeah, I got that vibe.
Okay, all right. I didn't want to know if I was reading into things too hard there or not, but so like the cops are coming to clean up this scene, and they're having a quick little talk about their plans later. The lightning, well, that's what he goes by now, lightning, is seeing the skies turn red above them. Skies turning red is bad stuff in the DC universe, and I guarantee you it's not a good sign here either, and that's what's going down. So we don't know why yet, but we're checking in and moving the story to New York City, where we follow the leader of the Avengers, Falcon, in his new getup. He notices these red skies as well. He's hanging out with what I always forget his. They even say it in this issue, and I'm forgetting it. Red Wing. Wing. There we go. He's hanging out with Red Wing above the skies in New York. And they're gonna go kind of get closer to this red sky source, I guess, and see what's going on because he flies to the street level. Is there an earthquake going on here? Why did these cars start popping up in the air? Are sewers popping, or?
I think what happens to make the sky red causes like earthquakes throughout the world.
Okay. All right, because I was like, I'm like, what is this car doing in the air? I threw it on either sewers popping or just earthquake happening in New York, which is pretty rare. But this is like a start of a global event occurring, and people around the city are all looking up and not noticing this car is about to just squish the shit out of them. Falcon comes and saves them. Red Wing's distracting people to get them out of the area. And, you know, I don't know what else to say about this scene other than everyone's just kind of like, what the F is going down here, you know?
Running for their lives.
Yep. You know, up next, we just kind of check in on random heroes throughout the city. You got Beast, you got Miles Morales, you got Doctor Strange, Kamala Khan, Vision, all kind of just communicating with each other on the, you know, on the comms. Telling each other what's going down in their area, and everybody's like, you know, losing their shit. They're all like shaking, you know, shit's gone wrong. Captain Marvel comes on the mic, and she chimes in with what's our first kind of real development of this issue, where we get some information when Alpha Flight chimes in with their position that Earth is not in its usual location of the solar system. It has basically vanished. There's just an empty cloud there where it was.
Satellites just hanging there.
Yeah. So Captain Marvel gets this, like, people hear her say this, right? They're still talking at this point.
She's talking to the people on the Alpha Flight station.
Okay.
Like talking Sasquatch.
Yeah, because then we check in on Vision and Black Panther, and it says message failed, unable to locate Alpha Flight. So they didn't hear from her. It's just Marvel talking back to the ship like, Earth's not here, guys. So everyone that is on Earth, though, can communicate, though, for now.
Yeah.
And you know, Beast is figured out that Earth's not in its right spot. And by the time we get down to Vision in the final panel, it looks like their communications are even starting to fail a little bit, at least if they're not in the same area as each other. You know, we're back to Falcon. You see Thor pop up, and there's like this lightning striking down. She's not causing, but she is trying to absorb. Hercules is doing some Hercules-esque stuff, tries to pull his best impression of the Atlas statue, which he claims he can do better because he's not. If you notice, he's not like bending down. You know, he's got it like up over his head. I thought that was a cool shout out as far as art goes. And then we check in on Wasp, and I'm gonna just say it now. I can't stand Wasp, especially in this issue. Like she comes off as kind of a C. I can't say the rest of the word because my daughter's in the room, but.
Comes off as a cunt.
Yeah, there you go. Travis filling in the blanks for me there. But her and Jarvis are they in New York? Is that where they are? Or no, they're in Arizona with the Champions. Or she's not.
She's an Avenger. They're in New York.
Okay. So yeah, they're in New York, and buildings are starting to kind of collapse. Jarvis pulls this heroic move and pushes this kid out of the way, but all this debris ends up coming down on him, and Wasp is on the scene when all that happens. We'll circle back around to that later because now we're in on San Diego, and this is the Uncanny team dealing with the tidal wave that's coming in. Johnny Storm comes up with the bright idea of basically trying to use his fire to kind of control it a bit. And I don't know if this is because his like connecting back to the 2-in-1 issue, where his powers are kind of wonky, so he overextends himself like he was going up and down in space and ends up coming down. So Scarlet Witch kind of takes over and does what she can. I guess they kind of stop it though, right? Did it seem like they stopped it? Okay.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Because you can see it in the background.
Yeah, we're in New Mexico. It's the Occupy team, and this is Red Hawk and Hawkeye. Red Wolf and Hawkeye. And they're looking for survivors amongst all this destruction. You know, they're rescuing people where they can. Looks like earthquake went down here as well. Save this lady kind of from this electrical disaster that's going down. And then we check in on the U.S. Avengers in Italy. Stopping this volcano. This boils down to once they stop the volcano, they see this, what they think initially is like a comet or satellite or something falling out of the sky. Goes crashing into the Colosseum in Rome, kind of blowing through the top levels of it. Before we get answers about that, we're over to DC and check in on Captain America, who, while saving people, ends up quickly kind of frozen in time, trying to reach his statue. And we notice this is happening to people all over the place. Poor Spider-Man is about to drop literally out of the sky.
Yeah, not a good place to be frozen.
Yeah, he's like mid swing. At least Black Panthers.
Do you see the pigeons resting on Spider-Man?
Yeah, Black Panthers at least just at his computer, but the champions, Nova and Viv, are about to hit the ground too. But yeah, everyone just all over. Random heroes are getting frozen in place. No real rhyme or reason as to who or why, because some members on teams are, some members on teams aren't. Like the U.S. Avengers, you see Squirrel Girl and that robot chick frozen. What's her name?
Jesus Christ. Enigma.
Yeah, we did a spotlight on her too. But Red Hulk and that other girl are not.
Cody Ho.
Yeah, I never heard of that person before.
You know what she is? She's the daughter. Do you remember the Iron Man movie? And it's also in continuity of the comics too. The guy who was in the cave with Tony Stark, who helped him build the armor.
Oh yeah,
that's his daughter.
Oh, okay, that's his daughter. Falcon's not frozen, but Vision is. So yeah, it's kind of random who's getting frozen.
All of the X-Men gold.
But it seems like the remaining members, put the call out to assemble to who's ever left. They get it and meet up at Avengers Mansion, I think, right?
Yep.
So yeah, they all get together. Whoever is left, it's kind of random members of each team. And I don't know, there's no real rhyme or reason to it, but this is the part Wasp comes storming in, gives everybody the news about Jarvis, and Rogue's like, yeah, it sucks. Jarvis being hurt sucks, but we got 7 billion people in danger here. We can't drop everything for Jarvis. Wasp, basically flips out. She's like, you guys are assholes, basically. And storms out of the room.
Who cares about the world?
Yeah. I don't know what she's up to. But while that's all occurring, Quicksilver has a quick beef with Rogue before they're all distracted by this chick's name's Voyager, right?
Yeah, Voyager. Kind of lame name.
Who comes down from the clouds. I guess I thought this was the comet that landed right in Rome.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the impression I got as well. She's in wherever the mansion is now in New York.
Apparently, she's been gone for a while. Like, just judging by their reaction.
Everybody knows her. We don't as readers, but everybody, at least certain Avengers members, are familiar with her.
Everybody's in awe too. They're like, "Oh my God, it's her!" Like she's someone big,
Yeah, like she must have some badass powers, I guess. And she closes the issue out with the cliffhanger of once an Avenger. and to be continued in 7 days. I don't know if that's the title of the issue or they're just telling you to come back next week. I think that's what they're saying. But yeah, then we get our teams, the different teams, and kind of a little letters page and a timeline to follow if you're interested. But yeah, we're at the buy, borrow, or forget portion of things. I don't know. This was all right. It wasn't knock your socks off great or anything for $5. The $5 price tags, partially for the fancy cover you get, the 3D cover, whatever they did. But I don't know. I'm an action issue fan. This was filled with a bunch of that, 30 pages, and a couple main developments, which boiled down to a bunch of disasters being stopped all over the world. That was a little Brian Hitchy to me. It wasn't great, but it moved the story forward.
Good call.
Yeah, it was a bunch of heroes then getting frozen, and then our mystery guest appears at the issue. So that's what our week 1 boils down to. And again, every 7 days you get a new issue. So it's going to be a big investment. It's like a $60-some total that you're looking at, because I think each one after this is only $3.99 then.
Yeah.
The last issue might be snuck up there again. We'll see. But I love the art. I mean, it looks almost like a classic Marvel feel in Marvel comic. It's back to that look. None of that stylistic type Avengers art that was in the first arc.
No.
Yeah. If this was like a $3.99 book, I'd say grab it for the art alone, because it is like a classic Marvel look and feel. So I definitely love that.
They got some good artists for this.
Yeah. Is it? It's different every week, or
no? It's
is it like a set?
So the first month.
What's his name? Who did
Pepe Larraz.
He's on the rest of the month. That's a cool deal.
Yeah, and then he finishes the last month. He does the last month and the first month, and then next I think is Kim Jacinto, and then after Kim Jacinto is Paco Medina, I think, or is it Paco? It's one of the Pacos. It's one of the two guys.
I know who you're talking about. I think Medina might be right. I don't know.
I think it's the other one. I can't remember his name right now for some reason, but he's a great artist. Him and Paco Medina kind of have the same style, but they're both great. So
yeah. But just to wrap up thoughts here, there were a few problems with it. I kind of wish more of the classic characters, and I know they're going to be popping up later on. We're dealing with the threats at the beginning. It feels like I really wanted to see Captain America in the lead of everybody here, but he's frozen, and it's kind of the random ragtag bunch that has to begin to solve this problem. So we'll see what comes of that. But that was a little bit of a downer. None of the classic guys are involved off the bat, but I'm sure they're coming. It's kind of the all new, all different cast that have been dealing with things lately. I'm kind of leaning towards almost being out on the series because I'm really excited for Infinity, and this is just kind of distracting to me. I want to focus on that. And I'll stay up to date on Wiki and reviews and the random issues that we do, but I don't know if I'm in for an every week thing. So I'm going to kind of give this a borrow for now unless it gets better. I'm enjoying more of the solo adventure focused Marvel stuff, and just the huge team books are tough for me to get into lately. I don't know why. Even Justice League and Justice League of America and some of the X-Men team books are even just not for me right now. And that's just where I'm at. Saving my money for Infinity. That's the event I want to follow, but I'll stay abreast of what's going on here. I think it's a borrow and see how you feel. If you like it,
I think I know
follow it, and what do you think? That's where I'm leaning initially after week 1, but I'm going to stay up to date. Definitely.
I think I know who crashed. I think because I saw it in advertisements. This is guy who looks like the Ray from DC. He's kind of got that same helmet.
Oh, Sentry? Is it Sentry?
No, I can't remember. I saw his name in an article. I can't think of it right now, but I think it. I don't know. I think it might be his name might be Captain Glory or something like that. But he looks like the Ray, and I think it might be him. Anyway, think it is Paco Medina. I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was a pretty decent, good start. It was pretty heavy on the mystery. Wade and everybody, they went big with the action. A lot of catastrophic events, bringing all the Avengers together. It was a little formulaic when it comes to the type of story it is, but I still enjoyed it. The art by Pepe Larraz was it was beautiful. It was dynamic. It had a lot of breathtaking blockbuster action movie stuff. Glorious colors by fucking David Curiel. That opening scene where we first see Falcon, like the underneath his wings had such a texture to it. It just looked beautiful. Almost looked like you could touch it and get a feeling from it. But there are also some mistakes I noticed. Like at the end of the issue, when we get that splash page of Voyager on the very last page, we have Beast on the left and Rogue on the right, as if Larraz forgot that Beast went after the Wasp to look after Jarvis. I don't know if anybody noticed it.
I meant to ask you too. Is this that same Cannonball that was in Legacy? Like, what's up with Cannonball?
Yeah, that's Cannonball from U.S. Avengers, and he's also a New Mutant and an X-Men guy.
But didn't he die in the Legacy issue though?
No, he didn't die. He was held captive on that planet, that Skrull planet, where they were reliving like that Archie TV show. Like that.
Who was the guy going after Ghost Rider? Am I mixing him up with somebody?
The guy going after Ghost Rider? Yeah, I think you might be mixing him up with somebody, because Cannonball was stuck on that planet.
Oh, Sunspot. I'm mixing him up with Sunspot. That's
well, Sunspot is the leader of the U.S. Avengers. He goes by Agent 5 now, or Citizen 5.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the guy that was fighting Ghost Rider in the Legacy issue was, though.
Oh, Starbrand.
Starbrand. All right, I'm mixing all those dudes.
Yeah, he was from Hickman's Avengers. Hickman brought him back with his Avengers series, and then he had a big role. Him and Night. Was it Night Mask? They had their own little comic.
I'm just mixing dudes up. I thought Cannonball was the one fighting Ghost Rider.
But yeah, like that mistake with Beast, and there are a couple little hiccups here and there, but overall the art was gorgeous. The introduction of Voyager was a little vapid, and it just felt kind of strange, with her just showing up and being like, "Hey guys," and they're like, "Oh my God, it's her!" But what else? I'm not a creative guy, so I can't think of anything better, I guess. But at least it's not some drawn out plot where like she's the only one who can save them and they got to go find her because they haven't seen her in a while. I would have fucking hated that. So at least they just got it over with, and she shows up at the end of the first issue. But all in all, aside from the aforementioned problems, I enjoyed the issue, and it sparked enough intrigue that I'm excited to see what comes next. I heard Banner Hulk is returning in this series, so I'm excited for that. And I'm curious to know what Voyager's power set is, because other than her costume and them putting her on that Avengers statue in the backyard, I have no clue of anything about her. So for right now, until I know more, I'm going to set it as a borrow. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. There's some intrigue hopefully coming down the line. We'll see what it all results in. But yeah, if you guys are interested in some more talk, you know where to find us. It's the Marvel Madness Comics Podcast. We got 3 more books for you this week: Venom 160, Old Man Hawkeye, and Phoenix Resurrection 3. But yeah, that's where you can find us. I'm going to go watch some football. Trevor's going to go read some comics, possibly watch some Rescue Me, and we'll talk to you guys in a bit. Later.
Peace.